Hi, this is James from Elusive. Today I'd like to go over some of the top anime and video game soundtracks that you should have in your collection. These are from my personal collection. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I think everyone should own these titles. They're not all of them, but there's a lot of titles that you should definitely own in this list. As you know, here at Elusive Disc, we really specialize in classic rock, jazz, classical, and that is music is all stuff that I enjoy. I really like listening to that type of music, but in my spare time, when I'm not listening to vinyl or listening to jazz or listening to Miles Davis or The Doors or Led Zeppelin, when I'm not listening to that, I like to play video games and watch anime. And so once anime soundtracks and video game soundtracks really started to become popular in the last few years, I really felt like collecting those really helps me connect my two areas of interest. I like to connect my video game and anime listening, and I like to connect my love of vinyl. And this is a really great thing for me to do. And I think if you're into vinyl and you're into anime and video games as well, I think if you are, then you definitely need to pick these titles up in your collection. Yeah, so the first soundtrack I think you should have is the Doom soundtrack. It's from the 2016 reboot of Doom. The soundtrack was done by Mick Gordon. He did both the sound design and he composed the entire album, of which he won the 2016 Game Awards for both sound design and music or soundtrack. This album is absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. The artwork really meshes with the art of the game. I think they really pop well together. If you're taking the albums out, I'm going to set this over here. And so on the back here, you've got the tracks that are on the record, but the front of the cover or the front of the jacket I really love. You've got the opening scene of the game. I really like how the first record is the opening scene of the game. I think that really pops. And pulling the record out here, you can see it's a beautiful red color. Absolutely love it. It's super stunning and gorgeous. And disc 2 is the same color, so I probably won't pull that one out. And so disc 2 here, I really love the cover because, spoiler alert, it's Doom. You're going to end up in hell at some point. So I really love how that's the second disc cover. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This record is from Laced Records, so I think you should definitely pick this one up. Doom Eternal, the sequel to this game, I'm hoping the vinyl comes out for that, but there is a legal battle ensuing between Mick Gordon and Bethesda, the game developer. So it looks like that soundtrack probably won't see the light of day, which is a travesty. It's also an excellent soundtrack, but this one is absolutely fantastic that anybody should have. And I'm gonna set this over here for right now. The next soundtrack on the list from Hiroyuki Sawano is the Attack on Titan soundtrack. This is from the Attack on Titan anime series. Very popular. The 4 seasons, probably I think one of the most watched seasons of anime ever. This one is from the first season of the soundtrack. Sawano-san has done over 100 scores. He's been nominated 11 times for New Types magazine anime soundtrack. He's won multiple, including this soundtrack and Kill la Kill. He's worked on other scores. He's worked on 86. He's worked on Xenoblade Chronicles X, Kill la Kill, and Gundam Unicorn as well. He's done, and plenty of others that I'm not even mentioning. He's an absolutely famous composer for Japanese anime soundtracks. This soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. It's very epic, very visceral. It really matches the style and darkness of the show. I love the packaging as well. I really like this cover. I like the color of the back. And I really like when you open up this 3-album set here, you've got that really nice vista of the entire city here. I absolutely love it. It's really stunning, really gorgeous. And then when you look at the albums, they're all the same color. They've all got that blue and white splatter here. Let's set this down so you can see. So pull that out. Yeah, it's really got that really pretty blue and white splatter. I really like this color and this variant. It's really gorgeous. This soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. You should definitely own this one. It's definitely on my top of my list here, or towards the top of my list, I should say. Next up on the list is another video game soundtrack, one that most of you have probably heard of. This is Dark Souls. I only have Dark Souls 2 and 3 here to show you. Dark Souls 1 sold out really fast and is not available for purchase. But Dark Souls 2 and 3 actually have really good music. I really like them. The Dark Souls series is pretty widely known for being, brutal difficulty, but fair. I really like the atmosphere of these games. If they first started, Dark Souls is not the first. The first game was Demon Souls, which I have that soundtrack cover right up there. It was a PlayStation 3 game. And when it came out, the Japanese publisher wasn't very sure about it coming out, so it was actually localized by Atlas, a company that does a lot of niche RPGs. They brought it out and it became instantly popular. They weren't sure if it was going to do well because of how hard it is, but people really love the series. I love this cover, absolutely love it. It's really stunning. The gloss cover on here is really beautiful. It's a gatefold, so the artwork on the artwork inside here is really beautiful. I really like it. And then looking at the albums, this one, I really like the color on this one. They call it this like a maroon and rust color, but I like to think of it like, the blood that you get on your armor after being attacked and dying 1,000 times before you finally beat that boss. I really love it. The music on here absolutely matches the game. The wonder, especially the boss fight music, I really love it. It really encapsulates a feeling of awe, wonder, and then success when you actually beat something. I really like it. It's really mysterious. I love this. Let me show you Dark Souls 3 as well. The color on this one, or first let's look at the cover. So we've got the cover here, absolutely gorgeous again, still very glossy. I really like this. And then the inside here, I like this one. I actually like this one better than Dark Souls 2. It really pops. I will absolutely love it. The vinyl on this one, you've got the yellow and burgundy color. Absolutely great soundtrack. So you should definitely get these titles. They won't last long. Like Dark Souls 1 went very quickly, which I think a lot of people got because that was their first Dark Souls games, but I think the music on 2 and 3 is a little bit better than 1, but you should definitely add these to your collection. The next item on the list, this is a personal favorite of mine. It's an old anime series from the late 1980s. It's called Kimagure Orange Road. Most of you probably haven't heard the soundtrack, but I really like this soundtrack. It's got classic 80s tracks. This is really for anybody who's a fan of this series. If you think you might like 80s anime or 80s type style music, take a listen to some of the soundtrack. I think you'll actually like it. It's really good. The soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. This is the third soundtrack in the list of Kimagure Orange Road. There's 1, 2, and 3 different soundtracks. There's actually, I think we have 6 different vinyls for Kimagure Orange Road. There's just has a lot of fantastic, really good music. It's really very 80s anime. It's so if that sounds like something you like, then definitely pick this up. I like the vinyl. This one's a really pretty green color here. I really like that. And it's got a couple bonuses in here as well. So it's got a poster. Actually, there we go. There you go. I really like this poster that comes with. It's really cool. And then it just has a little sheet here. And then it's got the track list, and I really like this. It's really cool. It's got the main characters. Really like it. So if you've seen this series, or if you like 80s anime or 80s music, definitely check this out. It may be something you've never heard before. It's really good music. So definitely something to check out. It's one of my personal favorites. That's why it's on this list. It probably won't be on many top lists, but I really like it. Next up on my list is a video game soundtrack compilation. So this album, Fields of East, basically compiles every single overworld track from every modern iteration of the East video game series. The East video game series is a very niche action Japanese role-playing game. The most famous one being Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, which is an absolutely fantastic game. The soundtrack, the overworld song is on here from that, which is Sunshine Coastline. The music from this, it's got one song from each of the modern Ys series. It's that overworld music that you're playing when you're exploring, so usually that's very actiony. It makes you think, it gives you a sense of wonder. I really like it. It makes you feel like you're exploring a new place or new area. So it's got each of those. It's a really nice compilation from the Falcom sound team, who just does absolutely phenomenal work. So if you can get anything, I like this one to start with because it's got all the different themes from all of the games. But you can pick up any of the other soundtracks from Falcom sound team, who are now branching off to kind of do their own thing in addition to working on Falcom games. Falcom being the publisher or developer, sorry, of the Ys games. They've done tremendous work on all of their games. They're really well known in Japan for making great soundtracks. So that's why I've got Fields of Ys on here. Probably also not on a top list, but you'll definitely find Falcom sound team on a lot of top lists of Japanese video games. They do a phenomenal job. Next up, I've got 3 soundtracks from legendary composer Joe Hisaishi. They are in collaboration with the legendary director Hayao Miyazaki. These soundtracks are absolutely phenomenal. They're very famous. Even people that aren't into Japanese anime, most of them will have recognized these soundtracks. First up, we have Howl's Moving Castle. This movie is a terrific movie. It actually has the English dub of it, has some famous movie actors that you may recognize. It's got Billy Crystal and Christian Bale as well, which is pretty cool. This is the first time these were actually released on vinyl. These are Japanese imports, but we do carry these. They're absolutely gorgeous, just like the animation in the shows. Here we got the beginning. I'm gonna leave the obi strip on here. So I'm gonna open it. Take a look on the inside here. Got this absolutely gorgeous shot, and you've got some text here that I can't read, but I really love this gorgeous shot here. If you've seen the series, I don't want to get into spoilers on this because you should see this, but all this beautiful artwork really meshes well together along with the storyline. The story has to do, it's probably his most anti-war film that he's done. Now, most of his films have a bit of anti-war and human versus nature themes in them, but this is definitely the most, this one has the most anti-war theme of all of his movies. The soundtrack also deals with aging and, you know, not being a bad thing, which I really appreciate because since this movie has come out, I've aged quite a bit, so I really appreciate that. The music really transports you into the world. It's really epic. Absolutely fantastic on all 3 of these. So taking a look on the inside here, I really like the inside. It comes with a nice little insert here, and I'm gonna not take this one, I'm gonna take the other one out because there's 3 sides of music on these. So on side 2 here, or on disc 2, on the side that doesn't have any music, has some really beautiful etchings. And I'm gonna try and hold them up to the camera so you can see them. So that's really cool. And then the black vinyl, I really like the labels. They're really pretty as well. Really cool. Next up, we have Spirited Away. Absolutely beautiful cover on this, just like all of Studio Ghibli's movies. The cover artwork is absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. Absolutely gorgeous. This movie was actually the first and only Japanese film to win the Best Animated Movie category at the Oscars. It's absolutely fantastic. Really love the inside of this cover here. The music really transports you into another world. And speaking of being transported to another world, this was done before isekai was cool. Isekai is a very newer phenomenon that's in a lot of Japanese anime where a character from like our modern time is transported to another world. Sword Art Online kind of is like that. There's other shows that are also doing that. But this was isekai. The girl in this show, she's dealing with a lot of trauma. She's gonna have to move, make new friends in school, and she gets transported to this new world. So it's really cool. Let's take a look at the artwork on this one. So on here, I really like the vinyl. I really like the labels on this one again. And this one also, like the last one, has really beautiful etchings on the back here. All of these are first time on vinyl. They've never been on vinyl before. Everyone should own these. You should get these before they sell out. And finally, we have Princess Mononoke soundtrack. Absolutely love this cover. Well, I've said that about all three. What can I say? The artwork is absolutely gorgeous on these. This movie is probably one of the little bit more darker ones. His other movies are a little bit more kid-friendly. This one is definitely a more mature film. It has the most action of all of his movies. Actually, this year is the 25th anniversary of this movie. They actually showed it in theaters earlier this year to commemorate this movie. But like I said, all three of these soundtracks are absolutely phenomenal. It's the first time they've ever been on vinyl. You should get them while they're still available. They should be in anyone's collection. They're absolutely fantastic. And we'll take a look at this one as well. The label on here you can see. This one has 4 sides, so there's no etching on this one. So you get a little bit more music, which is also nice. You don't get the artwork, but you get more music. So I think that's actually a better win. Those are the 3 Studio Ghibli soundtracks I think you should own. There are a lot more, but if you're gonna own any of them, you should definitely own these 3. They're absolutely fantastic. You should see all of them too. They're absolutely wonderful movies. If you've not seen them, you need to fix that and go see them. Even though we're talking about vinyl, I absolutely love these movies. Okay, up next we're gonna go back to video games. We're gonna talk about Quake soundtrack. This is the original Quake soundtrack back from 1996, done by 9 Inch Nails. There's a good story behind this. Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails was a huge gamer and really into first-person shooters. Back when they were touring, they had a bus, on their tour bus, they had 2 old computers, and if you're my age, you'll know what these computers are. They're old 486 computers. That's a really old CPU before Pentiums were even out. On their tour bus, they had a computer on the front of the bus and one on the back, and they had a Ethernet cable running between the two so they could do death matches. And id Software, the developer of this game, who did the original Doom, not Doom 2016, they did both, but Doom, the original Doom, not the 2016 reboot that we talked about earlier in this video, they were huge fans of Trent Reznor and actually had him come out and check out Quake, which they were developing at the time. And he absolutely loved it and decided to do the soundtrack for it. It's a really cool story. That's how 9 Inch Nails ended up doing the Quake soundtrack. It's really cool. And I love the artwork on here. It's a gatefold. You got a gatefold jacket here. There's the inside. Definitely really cool. And if you pull out the albums here, I really love these jackets. They're really pretty. You can see like the old computers that they were working on. So if you're my age, you probably have seen them like this. But yeah, it's really gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Okay. Yeah, here's a more close-up shot. And as you can see, the resolution of the photos at the time, or well, what the resolution of cameras were at the time. We've come a long way since then. But I absolutely love this. It's a fantastic. If you like 9 Inch Nails, this music is absolutely a must own. If you like Quake, this is just really great music. It was made specifically for the game. You can really feel the music for this. It really comes alive. Absolutely love it. Up next, we have my favorite anime soundtrack of all time, Cowboy Bebop. This soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. If you like anime soundtracks and collecting soundtracks from vinyl, you must own this. There are a lot of different variants out there with different colors. You should own this album. The OP Tank is absolutely phenomenal. It's instantly recognizable and was provided inspiration for other anime openings or ops. Absolutely phenomenal. I love this cover. Absolutely, it's gorgeous. Just exudes the anime. You totally feel the anime. I love the inside cover here of the gatefold. Absolutely beautiful. And pulling out the vinyl here, the sleeves, same thing. Absolutely gorgeous. And this one, like I said, is an orange variant. We have a ton of different variants, or there's been a ton of different variants that made for this. This one's orange, but just get whichever variant you can find. We have orange available now still. A link for that will be in the description. And links for all of these products will be in the description as well. In addition to that, I'll probably throw in some other soundtracks that aren't on this list that you should buy. Looking at the other one, just still absolutely beautiful. I love this. They just knocked it out of the park on this one. There's not much more I can say. It's Cowboy Bebop, absolutely famous, best soundtrack of all time. I can't really say much more other than you should own this. And last here, I have the Death Note soundtrack. Unfortunately, it has gone out of print since I got it. So hopefully there'll be a repress or they'll do a new variant. But this soundtrack is from the anime series Death Note. Very famous. There was a Netflix show that was adapted to it. Wasn't received very well, but it looks like Netflix is trying to do a new series based on this. But the anime or the manga is absolutely fabulous. The music on this is awesome. It's got great ups and downs. It's got like the investigation music. It's got very intense music when Light is, writing in his death note. Absolutely like the inside of this cover because you've got the two main characters up and down on here. It's really a battle of wits on this show. Just love this cover. The music is absolutely phenomenal. And this variant that was here, it's kind of like a clear variant. Although this vinyl that my copy, they accidentally left a pellet or two of black vinyl in there, so maybe this one's a little bit unique. They're supposed to be clear, but it still sounds phenomenal. And up here we've got the Persona box set that I've had in the background of the video. I wish we could carry this. This was an exclusive to a single store. You had to pre-order it in advance to get the box set. I'm hoping that one day we can carry this or the individual tracks in this album. The soundtrack, it's got the soundtracks from all 5 Persona games on here. I absolutely love it. I wish we could have it, but that's why it's up here, because it's on my top list, but we just don't carry it. If you can get it, get it. Hopefully if you're watching this in a couple years, we still have it. I'll have that linked in the description. I'm hoping that we can get copies of this after it's been completely printed and they maybe have extra copies left over. At Elusive Disc, we're not very well known for doing anime and video game soundtracks. When I started working here, I really liked listening to 70s, 80s, 90s music, jazz, classical music. But one of my hobbies was playing video games in my spare time and watching anime. And I really wanted to merge those two areas that I love. Listening to vinyl, collecting vinyl, having physical media of music that I absolutely love in my hands with my love of video games and anime. So over time we've been trying to slowly add to our list of music that we carry. Video game and anime soundtracks, so we're hoping to continue to keep adding more. It's been great to see this resurgence of anime and video game music in vinyl. If you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to our channel for a lot more great audio content. This is not a complete list of all the best anime and video game soundtracks. If everyone likes this video and thinks I should do another one, leave a comment and I'll try to do another one here in the future. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.